My name is Shawn Wichar. I'm 21 years old, and I'm a senior at Adrian College. And I love anything that has to do with putting a camera in my hand. But this story isn't about me. This is about the man that got me here. And that person is my dad. For as long as I can remember, my dad's always had a camera in his hand. From birthdays and Christmases, all the way to family vacations and my high school graduation. He's been there to capture it all. And why? Most people take pictures to remember the good times. Snapshot here and a snapshot there, group photo here, but nobody films everything like my dad does. And where does he keep all this footage? In hard shell binders to make sure nothing happens to these. So what I want to know is why? Why does he do what he does? Why does he have to carry a camera everywhere he goes? But in order to get that answer, I had to tell a different story. And that story brought me north. Hey!
Well, hi!
You ready to do this?
Oh yes, I'm really ready.
Your dad was introduced to photography and movie taking from a very early age. He was just a toddler and he would watch his grandparents, especially the grandfathers, with their cameras in their hands for every not only family event, but any event that meant anything to them. He loved watching them not only take pictures in movies, but he was very interested in it. But he looked up to his big brother, Al. And Al was into photography. He did it professionally. He even had prints that were in a gallery. And I think that with all this exposure, it just became something that he wanted to do because he wanted to be like them. I think he truly enjoys it, number one. It's something that he was surrounded by all his life, I guess. And so he took an interest in it. He wants to capture the moment, especially special moments. So everyone has something in life that makes them happy. And I think photography is one of the things that truly makes him happy. So I'm very happy that my son is into photography and that he is capturing all the important moments in his life, because memories can fade, but photos and videos can be restored.
My grandma has a unique perspective in that she's the only one that was there since the beginning. She's the only person I could talk to that's been there since day one. And I knew that was crucial in order to tell this story. And having that information is great, but I need something a little more right now. And to get that information, I had to talk to my sister. What's up?
Oh, you know, not much.
You ready to do this?
Oh, yeah. Well, I feel like when we were younger, I wouldn't say I didn't notice it so much, but it was just one of those things that he always had, and I knew my life was always being filmed. But as we got older, that's when I started to notice it. I'm like, why do you got to bring your camera around so much? And then I would start telling people like, yeah, you have no idea how my entire life has been documented. If you want to know anything about me or anything that has happened to me in my life, pretty much has been on video. Some people might think it's weird, but I'm like, oh no, it's just dad. So I don't know, just something that we've grown up with since I was a baby. I don't know how much he did necessarily before we were born, before me and Shawn were born, but I think once he had me, since I was the firstborn, that's when he realized that he just wanted to document every part of our life, and then that way the older we got, we could look back on those memories. And I know for him it's something that he wants to be passed down even when I start having kids. But I know his dad, so my grandpa, did a lot of videos and stuff too, and I didn't even know that until I got a little bit older. But I know my grandpa did a lot of film and stuff too, and so it was probably something that Dad just already had in his life. And because his dad did that when he was a kid, that he wanted to do that like when we were kids. That's something that he's gonna wanna look back on as well. So not just something for me and for Shawn, but something just for him to look back and say, like look at this incredible life that I've had and that I've had with my children. I would just say, Dad does all of this to just document our life, and not only the important things, like sports, graduation, that kind of thing, but he documents normal days. Like, especially when we were younger, if we were just, watching Barney, he would videotape us. Or just, if me and Shawn were wrestling around, he would videotape us. It didn't have to be some special moment. It would just be moments in general. That, like, things that we probably wouldn't remember if it wasn't for those, those videos and those pictures and everything. Yeah, there was an age, I would say, it got annoying. And sometimes it does, but it's just one of those things where, it's like, I understand why he does it, and I am grateful that he's done it, because I love looking back on those videos, because it's, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool, and I think it's pretty funny sometimes. But I would say I'm grateful.
My sister has an interesting perspective because it's similar to mine, but it's different enough where she can provide something unique, something that's more than just me talking to you. And that's why I knew I had to talk to her, and to get closer to that final answer that I'm looking for. But in order to get that final answer, there's only one person I need to talk to. The man himself, my dad.
How's it going?
You couldn't not film something for once?
Well, I gotta capture it all, right? Oh, yeah.
Alright, let's do this.
I started back again, like in the early 90s. That's kind of where it started, probably around then, where I actually got a pretty decent camera. My dad, like I said, definitely had the biggest influence on me that way. He videoed a lot of stuff, taped a lot of stuff, I should say. I just remember growing up as a kid, and we used to kind of have like video night, and sometimes we'd have like just pictures or actually those slides too, a lot back in the day. But I got great memories of just kind of hanging out with the family. We'd pop a bunch of popcorn and just kind of have a movie night. And my dad would set up the old camera and get the old projector going, and we'd just start watching them, and it was just, we'd laugh, and just, it's like great memories. It was just something, to do as a family. There's just so much that goes on in somebody's lifetime that, to me, taking pictures, just, it's nice because it can capture a certain instant, picture and moment in time. But it's, when you video something, especially now with sound, hear what people are saying, you can, you get more in the mood of it, and just kind of really put you back in those days. With all of us getting older, we've lost a lot of loved ones and family and friends, and for me to be able to document everything that's gone on and to look back and remember the times that I had with my brother and my dad and my grandparents and everybody, and I want to make sure I save all these memories. To me, it's just kind of capturing where I'm at and what I'm doing, and to me that's the most important thing. I love seeing old videos. My dad has a lot of old stuff. There's so much, to see, and I never want to forget it. And I always want, my kids to be able to go back and watch, footage and stuff, and I think people tend to forget too, like, when you're in that time of your life, you kind of take for granted that moment and that time of life is always going to be there. But then next thing you know, 5 or 10 years go by and you go, wow, you know, look at them now, you know. But if you don't video that kind of stuff, you know, then how do you really know what happened in those times and really get a good feeling to go back to that? You know, everyone likes to talk about old times. You know, that's one thing that everybody does. And I think the older you get, that's what you do more often. And so, you know, instead of just kind of talking about it, I think the best thing is to just, you know, throw on some tapes and some videos and watch them and go back. So, you know, so that is the biggest thing. I want us all, I want to remember everything. I want to go back, you know, and see things with family, but I also want them to do that and to keep this stuff for 50 years or 100 years or 200 years, you know, generations. You know, this is my dad, this is my grandpa, this is my, you know, kids and aunts and uncles and, you know, friends and everybody. It's, you know, you can talk about them, but if you really can, you know, put something on and watch it, you know, you can really get a good feel of their personality and really what happened. So as long as I can capture everything, then that's the most important thing. And, you know, I just want to always be remembered, and I want to be seen on the camera too. And I don't want anyone to ever forget me and kind of the guy who I've been. I don't think I've changed all that much, but I just always want to be remembered. And that's why really I do a lot of this too. It's to remember everybody, but everyone to remember me. And this is who my dad is. This is who my grandpa is someday. You know, I'm sure I'll be a grandpa, but I just always want to be remembered. So this is gonna be documented forever for me and for everybody. So
I loved finally getting the opportunity to ask my dad this question. It's something I never even thought to ask before this. I just always accepted that he did it. I didn't really think too much about it. I never actually sat down and contemplated why he documents all this. Nobody else does it, so why would he? But at the end of the day, he does it because he just loves doing it. His face would light up just talking about the subject, talking about his different cameras and his different trips that he took, and anything over the past 25 years almost has been documented. So he can look back and relive those memories. From my glory days in high school football to my first days here. He was there for it all with a camera so that we can all relive our own story. For a majority of his life, he's had a camera in his hands, and that's what makes him happy. Because not everybody records everything, but I'm sure glad my dad does. So Dad, it may get annoying at times, but at the end of the day, I'm glad you do it. I'm glad you always shove that camera in my face. Like I said, everybody gets the group shot, but not everybody gets so much more. Nobody gets everything. But you come pretty close, so thank you.
in closing,
That was good. That was really good.
I don't know. It's hard to do this stuff.